Jacob Turner walked the long center aisle of his main barn at dawn, and the first thing he saw unsettled everything.
No sign of a struggle. Just silence. Too much silence.
By the time he reached the far pen, over 200 Berkshire hogs lay motionless. The ones still alive were heaving foam.
Dr. Ortiz, you have to come. Something's killing every pig I own.
Dr. Carla Ortiz arrived within the hour, her face tight as she moved from pen to pen.
Jacob, look at the foam. The convulsive pattern. This isn't a pathogen. It's a toxin.
She knelt in the straw and pointed to a half-hidden container near the feed trough. The label was unmistakable.
Ethylene glycol, industrial antifreeze. A few pints in the silo would kill 1,000 head within a day.
By nightfall, 400 more had fallen. The operation was hemorrhaging a decade of genetics and trust.
Whoever did this knew exactly what it would do. They knew.
Months before the barn fell silent, Jacob Turner sat in a folding chair at the monthly HOA meeting, listening to Isabella Whitfield propose a new wellness initiative.
Some residents have complained for months about an odor drifting from the Turner property. It's a quality of life issue. This wellness initiative will address it. If Mr. Turner can't contain the smell, we'll pursue every legal remedy.
I've run that farm for 15 years. My pigs are heritage breeds. The smell is part of agriculture, not a nuisance.
You can't fight progress, Jacob. This community is growing, and your farm is a liability.
She's been looking for a reason to shut me down since the first development.
After the meeting, she cornered him.
If you think this will blow over, you are wrong. I have the board's full support.
You do what you think you have to, Isabella. I'll keep raising the best pork in the state.
Jacob didn't know how far she'd go. But he knew she wasn't done. 48 hours after the first collapse, the official count stood at 1,200. Turner Heritage Berkshires had lost nearly a third of its breeding stock.
These weren't just livestock. They were bloodlines. Decades of careful selection, gone in a single night.
By noon, the local news vans had found the farm. A young reporter named Lily Chen was the first to walk through the gate.
Mr. Turner, can you tell our viewers what happened here? Who could have done something like this?
Someone deliberately poisoned my pigs. And I will find out who.
At home, Isabella Whitfield watched the broadcast, her magenta cardigan still pressed from the morning. The color drained from her face.
He can't know. There's no evidence. Stay calm.
The clip aired on the evening news, and within hours, the story spread to regional outlets. While the investigation continued, the remaining herd needed constant monitoring. Dr. Ortiz stayed on site through the night.
Someone out there is watching this coverage, waiting for me to break. They'll be disappointed.
The next morning, a USDA Suburban pulled up the gravel drive. Agent David Harris stepped out, badge clipped to his belt, face unreadable.
Mr. Turner, I am Agent Harris. We're treating this as a federal crime. The team will process the feed silo, cooperate fully.
Inside the feed silo, investigators in hazmat suits climbed the ladder, swabbing every surface. The chemical odor still hung in the air.
Lab results confirm it. The entire top layer of feed was saturated with ethylene glycol. Deliberate, precise.
That evening, Isabella posted on the community forum, "Jacob Turner's negligence killed those animals." The HOA warned him for months.
Turn sentiment against him. Make him toxic. He'll never prove otherwise.
Within hours, the post had hundreds of shares. The comment section turned vicious.
She's not just hiding. She's attacking.
The USDA team worked through the night. Jacob watched the silo lights from his kitchen window.
They have the science. I have the truth. But that won't matter if the jury of public opinion hangs me first.
The next morning, Jacob and Dr. Ortiz addressed the press inside the farm office. Cameras crowded the doorway.
Ethylene glycol was poured directly into the feed. This was a premeditated act of animal slaughter.
Isabella Whitfield held her own press conference 2 hours later, standing behind an HOA-branded lectern.
Jacob Turner is a failing farmer looking for a scapegoat. His operation was a hazard.
An envelope arrived that night. The message inside was cut from magazine letters. Drop your claims or face consequences.
Now she's threatening my home. This isn't just a property dispute. It's a war.
Jacob folded the note and called Dr. Ortiz.
I won't let this scare me off. I've buried 1,200 animals. I'm not burying the truth. Not now. Not ever.
He's not breaking. Public opinion is shifting. I need to make him look unstable.
The threat became a turning point. Local churches and farm groups rallied to Jacob's defense, and the narrative began to shift. The American Heritage Livestock Association released a statement calling the mass poisoning a devastating blow to genetic diversity in heritage breeds.
More than money, she destroyed bloodlines that took my grandfather a lifetime to build. Lines that can never be recreated.
Jacob, the association wants to support your case. They're offering legal resources and a press liaison. This is bigger than one farm now.
Lily Chen's coverage went national that evening, with farm-to-table chefs and heritage preservation groups expressing outrage.
National attention means scrutiny. I need to reframe this. He must look unstable, obsessed, a threat.
Isabella's new social media posts read, "Jacob Turner is a vengeful farmer with a history of threats against the HOA. He should be investigated."
The national spotlight has turned a local tragedy into a symbol for agricultural preservation. But the fight over blame is far from over.
She's trying to make me the villain. But the truth is in the soil and the blood. They can't erase that.
The Heritage Association pledged to help fund genetic recovery efforts, but Jacob knew some bloodlines were lost forever.
She thinks she can bury me in noise. But the industry is listening now. And they won't forget.
A week into the investigation, Agent Harris returned with a manila folder. Inside was a grainy security still.
We pulled this from the grain elevator camera. The timestamp matches. Do you recognize the figure?
The frame was blurred, but the shoulder line, the shape of the jacket, it was unmistakable. That was Isabella's magenta cardigan.
Isabella was asked to come in voluntarily. She arrived with a lawyer and a rehearsed smile.
I was at a Pilates class that evening. 12 witnesses can confirm. This is a witch hunt.
Her phone records placed her near the farm, but not inside the silo. Circumstantial evidence was mounting, but not enough for an arrest.
She's walking because the system needs a confession or a witness, and I have neither.
The silo evidence is solid, but she lawyered up fast. We'll keep digging. Don't do anything rash.
She's too careful to leave prints, but she miscalculated. This isn't just my fight anymore.
Isabella walked out of the interview, but her world was shrinking. The industry had taken notice, and it was no longer a local story. The next morning, an anonymous source sent Isabella's cell tower logs to every major news outlet.
She was within 100 yards of the silo. The only thing missing is a confession.
At the National Pork Producers Council headquarters, Chairman Mitchell Grant convened an emergency session.
This case is an attack on our entire industry. We're going to respond.
That evening, Chairman Grant called Jacob personally. The video call was brief but clear.
Jacob, the council voted to support you publicly. You are not alone.
The council's statement condemned the poisoning and pledged full legal and PR support to Jacob Turner. Isabella Whitfield watched the news alert scroll across her screen, her composure cracking.
If the industry gets involved, my HOA could be targeted. This is spiraling out of control.
They're finally listening. But she won't go quietly. The real fight is just beginning.
3 days later, the FBI announced a joint task force with the USDA, citing possible federal organic supply tampering charges.
Federal charges? This was a local HOA issue. They can't do this. They can't.
That evening, her own HOA board members confronted her. Fear of civil liability had spread faster than her lies.
How dare you? I built this community. You owe me your loyalty.
A federal grand jury convened the following week. Subpoenas landed at Isabella's doorstep and her attorney's office.
Under oath, I'll tell them everything. The wellness initiative, the threats, the antifreeze. She crossed a line.
Jacob's testimony detailed the confrontations, the anonymous threats, and the genetic loss. The room was silent.
They're picking apart my entire record. My Pilates alibi didn't hold. I need a scapegoat.
We have enough for an indictment. Organic supply tampering under federal law carries 25 years.
The grand jury returned a true bill within days. the first federal indictment in the county's history for agricultural terrorism. The indictment sent shockwaves through Washington. Within a week, 3 agricultural associations sent representatives to the Pork Council headquarters. In a closed-door session, Chairman Mitchell Grant laid out a proposal more aggressive than any statement.
We can declare her HOA an enemy of American agriculture. A formal resolution. Blacklist the entire association.
The room fell silent, then murmurs of agreement. The National Berkshire Swine Breeders Association seconded the motion.
We'll draft a joint resolution. Full legal and PR resources for any future HOA-related attacks. This will be a precedent.
That night, Chairman Grant called Jacob Turner to inform him of the discussion.
Jacob, we're preparing a joint resolution. It may change the landscape. I wanted you to hear it from me first.
Blacklisting an HOA. I never asked for this, but if it stops the next Isabella, it's worth it.
Over the next week, lawyers worked on the language. The document would declare Whitfield HOA an enemy and pledge support. Meanwhile, Isabella remained focused on her legal fight, unaware that the industry was drafting a permanent mark against her. Reporter Lily Chen received the draft resolution from an anonymous source. The document was unmistakable. By noon, the headline, Pork Council to blacklist HOA as enemy of agriculture, dominated every screen.
This is a witch hunt. They can't do this. I'll sue every one of them.
She called an emergency press conference, her magenta cardigan trembling with rage.
This is a coordinated attack by an industry that wants to silence homeowners. I will fight this in court.
Chairman Grant confirmed the leak was authentic but stressed that the resolution had not been voted on.
The draft reflects our intent. We stand with Jacob Turner and all farmers victimized by malicious HOAs.
It's real. They're doing it. The whole world is watching now.
Unprecedented. An entire industry declaring war on a homeowner association. The legal and social implications are immense.
The private feud had become a national reckoning. Isabella was no longer just a nuisance. She was an industry-wide warning. Within 48 hours of the leak, the first shockwave hit. Pinecrest Estates HOA, just 10 miles from Isabella's development, voted to dissolve.
They're abandoning ship. The blacklist hasn't even passed, and they're already running.
Within a day, Maplewood Village HOA followed. Their statement cited irreconcilable reputational damage by association with Whitfield HOA.
This is manipulation. Those HOAs were weak. I'll rebuild my reputation.
By the end of the week, a third HOA dissolved. The term Whitfield Rule began trending on industry forums. Then Isabella's own HOA treasurer resigned, stating she could no longer support a leadership that endangered the association.
Isabella's empire is collapsing from the inside. The industry hasn't even voted yet, and the dominoes are falling.
This is exactly why the resolution is necessary. HOAs that threaten agriculture must be contained.
The Whitfield OA, once a symbol of suburban order, became a local pariah. Contractors canceled, real estate listings stalled.
This changes everything. She's not just fighting me now. She's fighting the entire concept of what an HOA can be.
The following week, Jacob Turner flew to Washington, D.C. to sign the Memorandum of Understanding in person. Inside the National Pork Producers Council headquarters, Chairman Grant met him with a firm handshake.
You are part of history now, Jacob. This resolution will protect farmers for generations.
I never set out to change an industry, but I'll stand for every farm that's been bullied.
Jacob signed the document with a steady hand. The partnership was official.
We'll hold a joint press conference next week. The resolution vote is scheduled immediately after.
That evening, Isabella's legal team filed a preemptive lawsuit, claiming the council was conspiring to destroy her HOA.
She's desperate. A lawsuit before the resolution even passes. It won't stop the vote.
Jacob flew home that night with a copy of the memorandum. Knowing the final battle was approaching,
I am not a victim anymore. I am the face of a movement, and I won't blink.
Isabella Whitfield sued Jacob Turner and the Pork Council for defamation, demanding an injunction to stop the resolution vote.
I will not be bullied. This blacklist is a conspiracy, and I'll prove it in court.
Within hours, Jacob and Chairman Grant were served legal papers. The documents alleged a coordinated smear campaign.
We expected this. It's a desperate tactic. The vote will go on as planned.
An emergency hearing was called. Isabella's lawyers argued the resolution would cause irreparable harm. The judge ruled against the injunction, stating the council's resolution was protected trade association speech.
She wants a legal war. Fine. I'll countersue for intentional infliction. No more defense. I am filing a countersuit. She poisoned my herd and my name. I am done playing defense.
The criminal case stands. Her civil suit doesn't change the indictment. We're moving forward.
The legal war was set. Criminal charges, defamation defense, and a countersuit. The industry vote loomed. The wave of dissolutions became an avalanche. Within a week, 7 HOAs across 3 counties voted to dissolve.
7. They're running from a shadow before it even appears. The fear is more powerful than the resolution.
Real estate agents in the county began refusing to list Whitfield HOA homes, a private blacklist forming overnight.
The vote will be this Friday. I've called for an open session. The industry will speak with one voice.
Isabella's attorney, a seasoned litigator named Keene, called her with a stark warning.
You want me to settle? After everything? They'll humiliate me. I'd rather lose in court.
But Keene insisted. The criminal indictment, civil countersuit, and industry blacklist had made her position untenable.
Even her own lawyer is losing faith. The walls are closing in, and she knows it.
On Thursday night, the council released the final text of the resolution. It was exactly as feared. Friday morning, the council chamber was packed. The industry vote was finally here. The roll call was swift. 12 voices, 1 answer. The resolution passed unanimously.
By the authority of this council, the Isabella Whitfield Homeowners Association is hereby declared an enemy of American agriculture.
The words hit the live broadcast like a gavel. Inside the council chamber, Jacob Turner sat motionless.
History has been made. For the first time, an entire industry has blacklisted a homeowners association.
Isabella watched from her living room. The magenta cardigan was rumpled now.
They can't blacklist me. I'll appeal to every court in the land. This isn't over.
The words are real now, permanent. My pigs won't come back, but her ability to hurt anyone else just ended.
This blacklist will stand as a warning. Any HOA that attacks a farm will face the full might of our industry.
Isabella Whitfield was now a national pariah, but her legal nightmare was far from over.
Today, the industry spoke. Tomorrow, I speak in court. She'll learn that consequences don't end with a vote.
The federal grand jury returned a sealed indictment, aggravated animal cruelty, organic supply tampering. The charges were final.
Isabella Whitfield, you are under arrest. Come out with your hands visible.
She was handcuffed in her own doorway, the magenta cardigan shockingly bright against the morning light. Neighbors watched as she was guided into an FBI vehicle. The scene was broadcast live. Jacob Turner watched the feed from a quiet room at the courthouse.
It's really happening. After all the lies, the threats, the dead animals, justice is finally moving.
The evidence is overwhelming. Cell records, the antifreeze purchase, the surveillance footage. She's going to prison.
In the interrogation room, Isabella Whitfield stared at the wall, refusing to speak.
The guilt is on her face. I've waited months for this moment.
The criminal trial was set for spring, but Jacob knew the civil case would be the true reckoning. Spring arrived and the county courthouse filled for the trial of the woman in magenta. The prosecutor's opening was blunt. This was not a prank. It was the deliberate murder of living heritage. 1,200 animals, 30 lost bloodlines.
In 30 years of veterinary medicine, I've never seen such suffering. The convulsions lasted hours.
The defense tried to pin the act on a farmhand, but the man had an airtight alibi across the state. When Jacob Turner took the stand, the room fell silent.
I held piglets born from lines my grandfather started in 1972. She poured poison into their feed. She tried to erase something sacred.
Several jurors wiped their eyes. The prosecution rested with a mountain of evidence.
They're looking at me like I'm a monster. I'm not a monster. This isn't fair.
The judge denied the defense's motion to dismiss. Closing arguments were set for the next day.
One more night. Then the truth will be read aloud by 12 strangers.
The jury deliberated for less than 2 hours. When they filed back in, Isabella Whitfield's lawyer knew the answer.
Guilty. They said guilty. This can't be happening.
The judge sentenced her to 15 years in federal prison, the maximum for aggravated animal cruelty. The civil trial took only 3 days. The same evidence, the same outrage, the same outrage. The jury awarded Jacob $9 million.
$9 million won't bring back the bloodlines. But it's a number she'll never forget, and it ensures the farm survives.
The next morning, the National Hog Farmer magazine ran the blacklist notice on its cover. Enemy of American agriculture. The Whitfield HOA was now a permanent warning.
Every farmer in this country will know her name, and they'll know what happens when you poison a neighbor's herd.
The blacklist was entered into the agricultural industry's permanent database. No HOA could ever do this again without facing the same.
Justice. Real, undeniable justice. She tried to erase my farm. Instead, she erased herself.
The blacklist notice appeared in every major agricultural trade publication that spring. The name Whitfield became a case study.
Years from now, ag students will study this as a warning. My farm will be their example of survival.
Chairman Grant called to inform Jacob that the council had updated its permanent database. The blacklist was now part of industry policy.
Jacob, your case is codified. Any HOA that threatens a farm will face the same. It's official.
The system worked. It took a catastrophe, but it worked.
Jacob used a portion of the settlement to purchase new Berkshire breeding stock from 3 preservation farms.
These little ones come from lines almost as old as Grandpa's. It's like breathing life back into the ground.
Within weeks, the first new piglets were born on the restored farm. A small victory, but a symbol of rebirth. Jacob placed a new heritage breeding certificate on the barn wall. The Turner line would continue.
She tried to end us. Instead, she guaranteed our legacy would never be forgotten.
1 year later, Jacob mounted a brass plaque on the barn wall. In memory of 1,200 lost, never again.
They didn't just kill pigs. They tried to kill a legacy, but they failed.
The pastures stretched green and whole. Pigs rooted beneath oaks that had stood for a century.
The blacklist stands. The farm stands. And I am still here.
He walks the fields alone some mornings, before the sun burns the dew away.
Every squeal, every hoof print in the mud, it's proof that one angry woman couldn't undo decades of work.
The law did its part. The industry did its part. But the land healed itself.
Grandpa's note said, "Don't let the bastards take what's yours." I didn't.
The blacklist remains in trade publications to this day, a permanent cautionary tale. And on a quiet farm in the hills, Jacob Turner still rises at dawn. The fields, once scarred by loss, had greened over thick and rich. The barns sang with life once more. New piglets chased each other through the clover, oblivious to the weight of the past that had nearly buried them. A litter nursed contentedly, pink snouts pressed against the warm flank of their mother. Jacob Turner still walked his land with the same steady pace, but his shoulders were lighter than they had been in years. The blacklist notice still appeared in trade publications, a reminder that the industry would not forget. The farm endured. Not just the fences and barns, but the bloodlines, the memory, the promise of another dawn. And the land, patient as ever, gave back more than it had lost. New grasses, new generations, new mornings. The brass plaque on the barn wall caught the morning light, its inscription still sharp. The blacklist stood, and so did Jacob Turner.